So what we have discussed is all about the basic arithmetic applications, like all the number properties, number system, including multiplication, division, factors, factorization, even including factorial. The next part of the arithmetic that we would discuss is all about percentages.
Okay.
Okay. So when percentage, we know what is percent per hundred is pretty clear. But we have
Yes.
familiar with few other words that we encounter in the questions. That is, at times you will see a question, X percent of Y percent of X. So
Okay.
is there any difference between one and the same? If you observe right, we know childhood of is represented as multiplication.
Okay.
Yeah. So X percent of Y, right? We usually write it as X by 100 times Y, which is X by 100. Similarly, if I say y percent of x, it would be written as y by 100 times x, which is xy by 100. So, if I take 10% of 20, or if I take 20% of 10, they will remain same. Because what is 10% of 20? 2. Percent of 10? 2.
Mm.
Interchanging the values of these two, right, x and y, and it will not make any difference at all.
Okay.
Okay, right? So, what is the observation? X percent of is as same as y percent of x.
Percent of y and y% of x is same. Okay.
Okay, right? Yeah. So observation. So if I ask in a question, you will see x is what percent of y. So thinking x with respect to y, right? So it has to be written as x by y times 100%. This is what percent of y means. We'll say either it is 10%, 20%, or whatever else it is. Just 10 is what percent of 20. 10 is what percent of 20.
20.
Yeah.
200.
Means without calculation, we basically know it is 50%.
50%. Yes.
Yeah. So, but if to it mathematically, we write it as 10 by 20 times 100%.
Yes.
50%, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, y is what percent of x? It is one and the same. So, what is the observation is with respect to what? When I ask with respect to what means that major entity which we are speaking, that should be in the denominator, and the should be in the numerator. Asking x with respect to y, it has to be x by y. Y with respect to x, it has to be y by x.
X. If values are different, like x is what percent of y, uh,
So it should be x by y times 100%, right?
yeah. In previous slide, sir, you told that it doesn't matter if we change the.
That is different. That's the reason I told you there are two different things. Percent of y and y percent of x are different. These both are different. Why? Because of is represented as multiplication. When I say x percent of y or y percent of x, I have to take the product of the values. So if we understood the relations here, you could see the end result would remain as xy by 100. This is also xy by 100. Yeah. But in this case, speaking one with respect to the other, whatever else with respect to something else, that should be in the denominator. Here y is in the denominator, here x is in the denominator. So it will not remain same.
Of y, and here x, what percent of y.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got it.
So there is a slight difference between these two words.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So these are few basic percentages. If you remember, it would be handy. Even if you don't remember, because there is on-screen calculator, it will not affect us much.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, the other important word that we usually see is percentage change.
Percentage. Okay.
Yeah. So when you say percentage change, first look at the example that then we'll understand what it is. So last year you were given 10% increment. This year it was given 20%. So I'm saying in terms of percentage, that I'm saying I have doubled your increment. Sorry, not the salary. It is increment is double.
Increment is double. Yes.
Yeah. Because 10% became 20%. Similarly, last year if it was given 20 and this year if it was given 10, I'll say I made it half. But actually increment was given.
Okay.
But when you compare with the last year, it will say you have given only 50% of the previous increment. So mathematically putting it right, what it is. So from what is how did value change from initial value to some final value? So
Yes.
when it has changing from initial to final, we speak the percentage changes final value minus initial value, the difference in the values with
Yes.
respect to initial value, by initial value times 100%.
Okay.
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 So it is, for precisely speaking, final minus initial by initial into 100%. That percentage change.
Okay.
And it mathematically we understood 10 to 20 is exactly double 100%, and 50 to 20 to 10 is exactly half, which is 50%.
Yes.
So the two sign, when I say final minus initial, positive indicates it is up and negative indicates it is down, right?
Yes.
So it is increase can be identified by the sign.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm asking something.
I'm asking here at the second equation, 10 minus 20 means minus.
Exactly, because 20 became 10, right? Last year I gave 10, this year I gave only, last year I gave 20, this year I'm giving 10. From what to what is the question? From A to B is the question. A is initial and B is final.
Okay. 10 minus 20.
Correct?
Okay. I got it. Yes.
So usually we take the absolute value, whatever else it doesn't matter, right? It is only the difference between the values.
Different
But
values.
yeah, but we practically know whether if it is going to increase or decrease
Hmm.
by the size of by the magnitude, you can easily identify.
Yes.
Yeah. Next
Yes.
is change in percentage. Change in percentage is nothing but only the difference between the percentages. That's it.
Between the percentages. Okay.
Percentage values is change, but percentage change is different. Percentage change is the definition.
Okay.
I think you could observe the two differences, right? Yeah. Now let us look into a few questions related to this.
Okay.
Students in a school, 20% of the 20% are in science club, and 30% are in band. She is speaking of some people who belongs to two different categories.
Okay.
Yeah, I understood. In students that there are people who belongs to science club and there are people who belongs to band. Now, our doubt before we proceeding to the next sentence, we may have a prediction in mind. There might be people who belongs to both the clubs, right? And maybe people who do not belong to any of this.
Mm-hmm.
There is a possibility, right?
Yes.
So we put science club outside this, and also we are putting band outside this, assuming there is some intersection.
Okay.
What is how many people are there in the science club? It is 20%, and band there are altogether 30%. There is a possibility that all the people who are in science club can also be in band because this is only 20 and this is 30.
Yes.
And possibility that there need not be any intersection. Suppose if all boys took band and all girls are in science club, so now your intersection is zero.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now here look at the second statement. If a percent of the students in the school are in band but not in the science club, so in this we should altogether band is 30%, but is it 25% are exclusively in band but not in science club means over here.
Not intersection. Yes.
Yeah. So obviously there should be 5% over here
It should be here. Yes.
because this total is 30%.
30%. Yeah.
The entire science club is 20%, so there should be 15% over here. Yeah. So in this union, if you observe right, it is 30 plus 15 is 45 means there should be 55% outside.
30 plus 20.
55 plus 25.
Yeah. Okay.
Together 45.
Yeah. And like not in band and neither in band, not in science club.
That's
They have 55%.
That's
Yeah.
it. So we understood only this. Whether what is he expecting from us and all, we'll understand it after reading the remaining part of the sentence. So now the question: if 25% of the students in the school are in the band but not in the science club, now looking at the question: what percent of the students are in the science club, are not in band? What are the students who are science club are not in band? band.
Exclusively only science club percentage.
Here the question should be more very important. Why? Because it is not only mathematics that he'll emphasize on. He'll emphasize on the verbal translation. That is nothing but word translation. So outside the sentence, it matters a lot. You tell me first. You reveal the answer. See, demonstration is clear. I have drawn the diagram. Now you answer the question. Later we'll discuss. First you answer it.
What percent of students who are in the science club are not in band? Sir, what percent of students who are in science club are is exclusively what percentage of students are in science club?
Yeah. What is the numerator? What is the denominator? And how do I write it? You just tell. Write the values.
By
15 by
50.
no. 15 is something who is not at all related to any of the story. They're out of everything. They're not into any of the things. Here, for one point which you identified, 15 is fair enough. Just again read this sentence. What percent of the students who are in the science club? First of all, in the science club, how many people were there? 20.
20. Yeah.
This 20% who are there, who are not in the band means this 15% is not in the band. So 50 out of 20 times 100% should be your answer.
Okay. Okay.
So the print will end up in assuming that if it is 15% or what, but it doesn't. It is not there in the answer choice.
Yeah.
So that's where you'll get it up. But in 15 out of 20, why? Because question asked is percent of the students who are in the science club, either they have to be in the science club or not in the band, and they should not be in the band. So people in the science club but not in the band is 15 out of 20.
Okay.
So what percentage it is?
It's going to be 5.
If you want, see, if you are good at calculations, right, it's fair enough. If not, you can use your calculator. 15 out of this is 3/4. 3/4 is nothing but 75%.
100%.
Because it goes with 5, right? 5, 5/4. 3/4 of 100.
Yes.
Yeah?
3/4 of 100. 1 second, sir. I'll just take this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now this question. Which following is 850% greater than 8,000? Tell me before entering into this, I'll ask you as a note. There are few things that there isn't just parallelly will work. Proceed on. The value which is 10% greater than 20. Tell me which is 10% greater than 20.
Greater than 20.
How?
Of 20 is oh no, 22.
Hmm.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's the meaning of it. The meaning of the sentence is it is nothing but 20 plus 10% of 20. That is the meaning. So when the word greater, it doesn't mean just like A is greater than B. That is not the meaning.
Uh,
The meaning is We have to find the value x, which is nothing but this value should be 10% more than 20, which is nothing but 22. So 20 and 20, if you compare, right, already 22 is greater than 20, right?
Yeah.
But how much greater it is? It is 10 greater.
Yeah.
So it is 22 itself, not 23.
27. I thought 22, so it should be greater than 22.
No, not the question, right? It has to be 10% greater than 20, not 22.
Or 10% greater than 22.
Yeah, first you put 20 and 20 parallelly. Now how do you relate 22 with respect to 20? I'm saying 22 is nothing but it is 10% more greater than, or it is 10% more than 20.
10 more than 20, yes, exactly.
That's how you relate these words. So similarly, when you are expecting a value which is 850% greater than 8,000, you write this as 8,000 plus 850% of 8,000.
8,000 plus 50% of. Okay.
Now, you calculated, you can tell me, or you can take 8,000 common first. 850 by this is nothing but 950 by 100.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So 0 zeros, 0 zeros. It is nothing but 995 into 800. Uh,
95 into 800.
So it can be assumed as 100 minus 5.
Yeah.
It would be 80,000 minus 4,000. This into 100 minus 5 instead of 95.
Yeah.
80,000, right? 80,000
Yes.
minus 4,000. We'll use
Yes.
76,000.
Yes. Always D.
You observe it.
D.
Yeah, D should be a right. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is one important observation. X% greater than Y.
Yes.
X% greater than Y means how do you write it? Yes. XY by 100 is X% greater than Y. So X% means Y plus XY by 100.
Fine. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Precise to understand this, you can write it in words. Just like X% greater than Y can be written as Y plus XY by 100.
X then Y is Y
XY.
by 100.
Yeah.
It's a kind of formula.
Remember, formula doesn't make sense. See, if you think practically, it would be more easier. I just gave it for word's sake. But
Yeah.
in terms of it.
Yes. Yes.
With numbers, if you are so practical with see, when he gives certain bigger numbers, you always make a correlation with small numbers. Clarity in your mind, what is the calculation part and all. So now you can draw an analogy to understand how to correlate both the things, and you can proceed.
Yeah.
Now, in 1 year study, biologists observed the number of fish in a certain pond as well as the percentage of fish that were catfish. These are things they are observing. What it is? Number of fish as well as percentage of catfish. This is what they are observing.
Okay.
So obviously in the variety of fish there is catfish as well. That is
Catfish. Yeah. The pond with number of fish. Among that, they are observing the number of catfish, percentage of catfish.
So they have catfish. This is catfish.
Okay.
amount of fish. 3% is the observed. At the beginning of the year, there are 300 fish in the pond. So this is 300.
300.
Of which 15% were catfish. This is 15%. So 15% means we understood it has to be 45.
45, yeah.
So the remainder are some other variety. Varieties. It could be so many other varieties.
Yeah.
And at the end of the year, there were 400 fish. Now this is how in the beginning of the year. So at the end of the year, what is that they observe is this grew up to 400.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of which 10% were catfish. So in this, what is the catfish? 40.
40.
Catfish is 10%, which is 40. Actually, when there are 300, there are 45. But grew up to 400. This believe 40 means you understood the catfish count has come down.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, from beginning of the year to the end of the year, the number of catfish in the pond is asking. We understood it has been decreased.
Yes.
So you can anyhow rule out C, D, and E.
Yeah. Not change, increase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In A and B, pick one option from A and B and tell me which one could be the right answer. Yeah, you're not. Have you answered anything?
Yeah. It's a decrease more than 5%.
Exactly. Why? Because see, from 45, if I decrease it by 10%, it will become 4.5 down, and it's we understood it's more than that.
It's more than
45 to 40 is obviously understood it has to be more than 5%, right?
yes.
Yeah. So it's understood it is more than 5%. It's not the value, but it's speaking in terms of percentage,
Yes. Yes.
right? Only in terms of.
1 second. Sir.
Yeah. See, what is the observation I want to show you is, see, tomorrow you put the same question will appear on the computer screen. You can't do anything on the screen, right? This is
Yeah.
paperwork that you'll note it down on your paper.
Yes.
Means how do you translate the information? That's what I want to educate you. So your translation to any question should be like a diagrammatic way, so that you need not reread the question a number of times. At one go, you have to finish everything. Is that point okay?
It's okay.
Yeah. And okay. Thank you. Jeffrey? To survey it is at a company, 20% of the employees owned cell phones in 1994. So we are speaking of years. If you observe, right, 94, 98, you could see years. Okay. So 1994, let us write down. 1998, also let us write down. We are speaking of cell phones.
Yeah.
So this is how many? What percentage of the people own cell phones? 20%. Right. The population you don't know. 20% of X. Yeah, 20% of X. 60% of the employees own cell phones in 98. So this is 60%. But what would population? It need not be same X. It would be something else, some Y. 24 and 98, the population need not remain same as it is now. Okay. Now,
Okay.
is asking what was the percentage increase in the fraction of employees who own cell phones? Is asking asking for the percentage increase in the fraction. Fraction in the sense, obviously, again, it is 20 out of 100, 60 out of 100. So this X and Y doesn't make any sense. So it means increase. What is the increase we are looking at? We are looking at an increase from 20% to 60%. This is the percentage change what we are actually looking at.
Yeah.
So we understood 20 to 60 means it has been tripled 3 times. It means it is 300%, right?
300%. Yeah.
But just write it mathematically. What had actually happened? What is difference? The difference is nothing but 40 by 20 into 100 would give 200%.
Yeah.
So what is the basic mistake we do when we do blindly without any formula? 20 is 60, it looks 3 times. When
Yes.
you write 20 is 20 means it remained as it is. If it becomes 40, then it is increased by 100%. If it becomes 60, it is increased by 200%.
200. Yes.
You understand this different sequence?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So that is the reason I do not make any silly discussions in terms of times, because number of times would be different in terms of these values. So if you know the times right, you may fall into trap and assume it is 300%, which is wrong story. Right? So when you observe that it is percentage change, right, let us write a. First you put it down in this way, then you make a judgment. Quickly you'll understand it is not 300, it is 200. You could observe what is percentage change. Percentage change, you need attention. Though the answer, once put it down and then answer the question.
Okay.
Be attracted by silly traps. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now look at this.
So go back. Didn't take the snap for this.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll move. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now look at this. In 2009, the property tax on each home in town X was P%. The asset value of the home, where P is a constant. The property tax in 2009 on a home in terms that had been a value of a certain value, he gave $125,000 was $2,500. If this is the value for this, now he is asking something else in the column. For how much it was 125,000, if it was 2500, what is the percentage?
10%. No. 10.
If I take 1% of this value, it will be 1250.
1 to yeah.
There is 1%. Means by 100, if I do, it is 1%. No.
Yeah.
This look into this, right? We understood it should be 2%. Understood, right? 1%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Double,
this is 2%. So only when if the property, if the assessed value is 160,300, obviously it has to be 2% of this value. So when 2% we understood, again it is it has to be close to $1,200.
$2,100. Yeah.
And your quantity A is greater than quantity B.
Is
So what's your answer?
A is greater than B. A.
Yeah, very good.
Okay.
A caller received a shipment of cars, half of which were black, with the remainder consisting of 3 equal number of blue, silver, and white cars. So we understood 50% are black and 50% are of 3 different colors.
Okay.
The total number of cars, you have broke them. Few are black. This is exactly 50%. Am I right?
Yeah.
and the remaining 50% is now further segregated into three different colors. What is it? Blue, silver, white. Okay.
Yeah.
Usually, what happens when we see percentages in the story, we will usually plug in 100 and assume that it is 100 cards.
Yes. Yes.
So if it say and it said it consists of equal number, means all these three should be equal in count. So equal in count, if I start with 100, what happens is black would be 50 and other three would be 50. In the 50 cannot be broken into three equal pieces.
Okay.
So I have to ulta plug in from here. Instead of 50, if I take this 50% as just because all these three are equal in count. If I take this as 300, now it will be 100 each. This will be 100, this will be 100, this will be 100. If this is 100, then black also should be 300.
Yes.
Total number of cards would be 600. So when we plug in, it's not simply 100 that we have to plug in. We have to plug in some good numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Because this question literally there is some hidden information. And equal parts of three different colors is 1 by 2 and 1 by 3 are also some fractions which is invisible in the question. So when I 1 by 2 and 1 by 3, I have to take a value multiple of 6. And because in percentages, I am taking it as 600. That's how we started number of cards with 600.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, whatever you say. During this month, 70% of the black color cards, 70% is how much? 210.
Yeah.
210 black color. And from the other three colors, it is 80%, 30%, and 40% was sold because it is 100, right? So it is easy to make the values as 80, 30, and 40. Now, what is the final question? What percentage of the cars in the shipment were sold during the month? Means we understood it is 210 plus 80 plus 30 plus 40.
Okay.
So what is 290? 290 plus 10, 300, 360. So you understood it is 360 cars out of 600 cars were sold. So what is the percentage? Into 100 times. 100%.
Yeah.
So what is the answer? So obviously it is 60%.
60% is sold in the. Okay.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
So this is a translation that you are drawing down. But it's in the exam, right? Suddenly you didn't get an idea, and unfortunately you started with 100 and you have written this as 50 and 50.
Yeah.
In the second stage, when you identified this 50 has to be broken into three equal pieces, which you understood it is not possible. At least you can make it into 3, which you can make it as 50, 50, 50. But again, we need further percentages. We have 3 into 50. You made them as 300.
Yes.
That's it. So instead of 50,
Yes.
you have taken 300. Immediately here also you replaced it with 300.
Yes.
See, initially you may start with 100, but over in the next sentences, when situation demands, you have to change the values accordingly and proceed with your calculation. Okay. Yeah. Now let's look at it. Look at the 16th question. A nurse is combining one solution with an 8% concentration of acid in water with another solution that has 15% concentration of acid in water. So here, these are two. So there is solution 1, there is solution 2. This has 8% acid and 15% acid.
Yeah.
So what are those individual volumes? We don't know, but whatever the volume it has, 8% is acid means the remaining percentage is water.
Water. Yeah.
Yeah, in water. So it is a diluted acid actually, both the types. Okay, now if the nurse uses 120 ml of 8%, this first variety she used how much? 120 ml.
Okay.
Now volume of this 15% means this is the second volume. What is the volume that what volume of 15% solution should be used to obtain a mixture of 12% concentration? Means on mixing both of them, the result should be 12% concentration.
12% of acid should be there.
Yeah. So no, here what is the volume of 15% solution? Here see, just as if she took this the solution one which has 8% acid, she took 120 ml.
Okay.
Similarly, the solution with 15% acid, also she has to take some volume.
Yes.
By picking what volume and mixing them both together, you will get the resultant solution with 12% acid in it. Is the question. Just that you can assume alcohol. You took 20 ml which has 8% alcohol. You took something which has 15% alcohol. If you mix both, you have to get 12% alcohol. So how much ml should you pick with 15% alcohol in it so that the result would be 12%? Is the question.
Yes. 8% is already 120.
Yeah.
120.
120 ml.
Yes.
Now this kind of questions can be done actually beautifully without any mathematical approach, little technically. That is, with respect to this 8%, this when it the concentration has increased to 12%, right? From 8% to 12%, if I speak.
Yeah.
So how much it has been increased? It is increased by 4%.
Yeah.
With respect to this, it has been decreased by 3%.
Yes.
With respect to second solution, from 15 it came down to 12.
12.
So these values, what is the differences? It is 3 and 4. Now, the question is, if the first variety is 3 portions, the second variety should be 4 portions. That is the ratio we have to mix. Means, if this is in the ratio of 3:4, even this solution also should be in the ratio of 3:4.
Okay.
So if 3 portions is 120, 4 portions is how much? Means 3 into how much is 120? 3 into 40 is 120, you know. So it has to be 4 into 40. So that means how much? 160. So you take 160 ml of solution which has 15% acid, and we mix both, you have altogether 280 ml. In this 280 ml, 12% would be acid. That is the meaning.
Percent will be it. If it 160 of it.
Yeah. And so you have this this is called mixtures and alligation approach. Means we have it on the test, but we know it in our childhood, so we are applying. Nobody bothers right how you got that.
Yeah.
When you do, what you have to do, first calculate. What should you do? In 120 ml, you have to first calculate. Okay, what is 8% in 120 ml? You have to value. What is 8%? Some value.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
yeah.
if I take X for X, I have to take 15%. Again, there is some value over here. If I combine both, this is 120 plus X. In this has to be 12%.
Yeah.
Right. You have to get some value. Right.
Yes.
This is equal to this. You have to equate these two things. So literally, I have to do 8% of 120 plus 15% of X equals to 12% of 120 plus X. If I equate both, then I'll get the value of X. That is mathematical approach.
Yeah. It's going to take time for that. This is
exactly. That doesn't make sense. Who is going to value your paperwork?
Yes, nobody.
So this is a simple way to understand or solve these questions.
Sir, just a quick, I'm just reviewing it. Like 8% is 120 and 15% I find out.
Yeah, let's say.
This 12%. Then you write down here 3.
Yeah. So you put the values on the. You have to take the difference on the other side.
This 3 again.
Look at this difference continuation. How 8 minus 12 is how much?
8 minus 12 is 4.
You put it on the other side.
Oh, Yes.
50 always how much?
Put it here.
Put it this side.
Okay.
If this is 3 portions, this should be 4 portions. Again, it's to be in the solution should also be in the ratio of 3:4.
This.
Yeah, 3:4 be the ratio. So if I take 3 units, 3 portions as 120, 4 portions is how much is my question? That you understood it should be 160.
Okay.
Okay, right? So here
Yeah.
you have to drop 160 in the box. That's it.
Okay.
Now, look at this question. Share invested 4,000 in 2 different mutual funds. On each fund, she made a profit of 24%. Second, she made a profit of 36%. If the total profit was $1,080, how much did she invest in the first fund? So you understand this is a question which is definite with definite values. So start with option C, assuming option C is the first fund.
Okay.
So assuming option it is that 3,000. Obviously, second fund should be 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because total fund is 4,000, right?
Yeah.
So in the first fund, what is the percentage of profit? 24%. Am I right?
Yeah.
And in the second fund, it is 36%. So if you take 24% of 3,000, how much is that?
20% of 3,000. 4.
24 3.
40. Yes.
22 means 720. 36% of 1,000 is 360. If both the values are getting 1,080 and he also said that it has to be 1,080.
1,000.
Obviously, this should be the right answer. No?
Okay.
If it does match, then you will proceed towards. If it is more than if this result is if the sum of these two values is more than 1,080, you might decrease the value of the fund, reduce the fund.
Okay.
If it is less than 1,080, you might increase the value of the fund. The
Okay.
logic, right?
Yes.
So ultimately, when you work back from answer test, you can easily proceed when you have definite values across in the answer test as well as in the question.
Yeah.
So basically recall question definite plus information definite. What is the method of approach? It is work back approach.
Okay.
Okay, right? So
Yeah.
question percentages plus information percentages, you started with plug-in 100. Right? Plug 100
Yeah.
or the best thing is you can also say you can plug in some good numbers. Okay, now?
In the cars.
Yeah,
Question.
class question. Yeah.
Yes.
Next one is profit and loss. I think you know the difference. When the difference between the selling price and the cost price is positive, you say it is profit, and if it is negative, you understood it is loss.
Okay.
And the concept of discount, you know, the difference between the market price and selling price is discount. Or what market price minus discount will give you selling price as well.
Excuse me. Just 1 minute, because it's raining very heavily here, so the voice is not clear. I'll just put my speakers here because it's raining very heavily. I have sheets on my roof. I'm just listening from the laptop, so it's not very clear to me.
Yeah.
Just put down the speakers here, okay? Give me 1 minute.
Yeah, please. Yeah, are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this profit and loss, I think profit and loss is a clear story all the time. If the difference between the selling price and cost price is positive value, we know it is profit, and if it is negative, it is loss.
Yeah.
When we speak of profit percent and loss percentage, always have to again we have to compare with only with the cost price
Okay.
because the initial value.
Yeah.
So the discount percentage means I have to compare discount with respect to market price, not with the cost price.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Take a snap of this. A car dealer sold two cars, let me say car 1 and car 2, for $1 each. Means selling price, right? Sold means selling price is 1000 and 1000. Okay?
Yeah.
If you profit of 20% on one car and loss of 20% on the other car, what is the meaning? Cost price plus, if I say cost price is C1 is itself is the cost price. This plus profit is equal to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And cost price plus minus means loss over here.
Yes.
So it should be minus some value.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
assume there is profit on the first car and loss on the other car, minus, that would give you the other one. Let me say this is cost price is C1 and C2.
Okay.
So what we understood, the total selling price of both the cars is 2000. If a total cost price C1 plus C2 some value, now what is the difference whether if it is profit or loss or whatever it is? So how do I understand what is the profit that was made over here? It is 20%, right?
Yeah.
So if I write anything in this way, once understand this. If I say x plus 20% of x, if I say x plus 20% of x, directly write it as x times 1 plus 20 by x. I can also write it as x times 120 by x, 1 by 100. I can also write it as 1.2 times x.
Yes.
Literally, what is the selling price is altogether is 1.2 times C1.
Yes.
So loss, I have to write it as 80 by 100. Instead of 1, I'll get only 80. No, it is because 1 minus 20 by 100. So I can write this value as 0.8 C2.
Mm.
So with this, now I can find C1, right? What is the value of C1? C1 is nothing but 1000 by 1.2. Tell me what is the value of 1000 by 1.2?
1.2 is
80.1 by 3. 833 1 by 3. Right? What is 1000 by 0.8?
also.
It is around it is 1250. No?
Yes. Yes.
If you sum up both the values, 1250 plus 833.3, how much you do you get?
Is 833 in
833.33 plus 50. If you sum up both values, what you are getting? 1083.33 something.
Yes.
So 1083 point something is cost price, and selling price is only 2083.33 is cost price, means 2000 is selling price, means you understood this is a loss of 83.33% something, which is close to $8.
Yes.
Yeah, loss. So this is a simple calculator job. If you just transfer the information, you can get the answer.
Yes.
But this is a common variety of question that you usually you see on the test.
These are the types of questions, right?
Very common, very common. Because
Yeah.
one item, loss on one item. So finally, is it profit or loss?
Yes.
Okay. Look at this question. Agent sold almonds at a discount of 33 1 by 3%. It is nothing but 33.333 can be written as 1 by 3
Yeah.
in fractions. And profit of 1/3 on price. A merchant sold almonds at a discount of 1 by 3. When I said discount is always given on market price, right?
Yeah.
Made a profit of 1/3 on what? On selling price, he said.
Okay.
If the almonds cost $4, if we said when it is cost, right, this is nothing but cost price.
Yeah. Okay, cost price, yes.
What is the market price? What is the market price of 1 pound of almonds? Is the question. So in addition, though there are percentages or fractions, there is a definite value which is $4.
Yes.
And in the choice also you could see all are in definite values.
Okay.
What is the method of approach? What is the method? Question is the information has definite values. Question also asked for a definite value.
Yeah.
Definite. What is the method?
C. Start from C.
I mean, the method to say it is first work back method.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, start from C, assuming what is C? C is nothing but market price.
Yeah.
So market price, if you assume market price as $9, what is the discount that is given? Discount is, so 1/3 is how many dollars? $3. 1/3 of is $3, no?
Yes.
So giving a discount of $3, you will be left with $6.
Yeah.
This $6 is nothing but selling price.
Selling price, yeah.
Yeah. What he say? And merchant made a profit of 1/3 on the selling price. On this, he has to make 1/3 profit. Again, 1/3 on this is how much? 1/3 on this is
$2.
so after so this is the profit he made. So if you remove this profit from this, what is that you're left with? You're left with $4. $4 should be the cost price.
Cost price.
But
Cost.
even in the question, we know it is $4 is the cost price. So the answer should be
C. Oh, okay. Yeah.
the
From
flow how
the
you are moving. See, you need not recall so much of subject or theory in this. It is so peacefully you can just proceed the way the question is asking you. Ways to phrase you just translate. Every stage by stage you perform your calculations. Just proceed. Don't think where is profit taken, where is loss taken, what is this formula, what is that formula. Do not think of formulas in your mind.
Okay.
Is this okay? Now look at this. You spent $75 by used bicycle and $7 repairing it. So what is the total cost by now? All includes $1 or $2, right?
Yeah.
That is the total cost for buying it and repairing it.
Yes.
Then she sold a bicycle for 40% profit, 40% more than the total amount she spent on buying and repairing. So on this she added 40%.
Yeah. 14 of 102.
40% of 102 means when I said 40%, you can straight away write it as into 1.4.
Into 1. Okay.
How? Because 40% would be 140 out of 100, right?
140, 100 is.
Instead, I'm selling it for 140.
Yes.
1.4. So now in your calculation, the price that this fellow sold is, you have to understand.
Well, sorry, excuse me, so how it is 140?
Yeah, just now we have discussed. Also, I have to add 40% of x. X plus 40% of x means first you have to take x common. 1 plus 40 by 100, right? You have to remember certain things very quickly. Nothing but x into is nothing but 140 by 100,
Okay.
which is nothing but 1.4x per 20. It is same thing for 40.
Yes. Yeah.
This sort of things you have to be quick in mind, because all the time you will get 40% up, 20% up, means you have to put it in decimal forms quickly.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is, use your calculator and judge which one is greater. You don't use calculator if you are a little smart. See, on 100 if you take 40%, it is 140.
Yes.
So on 1 or 2, when you take 40%, it has to be greater than 140, right?
Yes, greater than 1.
So if it was a problem solving, then I have to calculate. But because this being QC, you have to make judgments. Judgments can be taken quickly in this way.
Greater than.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now look at this. When the restaurant spends between 55% to 70% of its revenue on food supplies and supplies. Okay. Food and supplies is how much? 55 to 70%.
Yeah.
And between 23% to 28% of its revenue on staff salaries. This is staff salaries,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
The revenue in the restaurants is next profit. Whatever the that is remaining is the profit.
Okay.
Okay, right?
Yeah.
If the restaurant earned $80,000 revenue on that month, so what is the total revenue that was earned is $80,000.
Yeah.
Which of the following could have been its net profit? So look in the range of profit. If you think this is lower end, it will be 78% is the total expenditure.
Okay.
So as a expenditure and the remaining is profit over here. Expenditure would be 78%, means profit would be how much? 22%.
Yeah.
Similarly, if the expenditure is 98%, that profit would be 2%.
2%.
So profit will be within the range of 2% of 80,000 to 22% of 80,000. All of them would be right answers.
Oh.
2% of 80,000. Actually, in the answer choice, there is one. In the two answers, there is 110 in excess. Answer choice were repeated. A, B, and C, D are same answer choice.
Yeah.
And the commas you could understand that's how it was. Yeah. So what is 2% of 80,000?
6.
In 1600.
It is.
Here it is. Of this, it is 16,000 plus 1600. Obviously, 17600, 17,600. So the profit would be between 1600 and 17,600.
600. Yes.
So answers could be B, C, and D. Because A is 1000, it cannot be 1000, it can be 18,000. You understood, right?
Yeah, it starts from 1600.
Yeah, exactly.
Once I just take this.
is a simple paperwork that you can make. Now, buy a car at and a truck at $4,000 and $5,800 respectively.
Now, car 4,000 and truck for 5,000.
Obviously,
Yeah.
because each of the following cases he made a profit. In each of the following cases he made a profit on selling both the vehicles.
Okay.
This is asking in which of the following cases he made a profit. You have to identify.
Okay.
So what we usually tend to do is we'll try to calculate all the values quickly, tuck, and say which is made where he is making a profit. But inside, first make a comparison where if it demands, then you'll calculate, else you can do it.
Hmm.
Okay. The first one at a profit of 20%. So on this 20% profit and loss of 20%, truck at a loss. Greater percentage values both are 20 and 20. This of greater price, so loss is obviously greater than profit, right?
Yes.
So it is greater than profit. He didn't make profit as an whole, which is loss. So you can rule out option A.
Oh.
Second one, he sold the car at loss of. First one is loss of 10%. Second one is a profit of 10%. We understood profit is greater than loss.
Greater than loss. Yeah.
So
58.
obviously he'll get a profit at the end of the day.
Yes.
Yeah. Now one. He sold a car at profit and the truck also at profit. When both are at profit, by default he'll get.
Profit is the profit. Yes.
Yeah. Now in the fourth case we look at. He sold car at 30% loss and truck at 25% profit. We have to judge because there are two different percentage values. Okay. What is 30% of this? 1200. 1200 loss. And 20% of this is how much? One fourth of this is how much? 6. Okay. 5.
Yeah.
Profit is 1650. Loss. This is loss. This is profit. So profit is more means ultimately he'll get profit.
Getting profit. Yeah.
He sold car at profit of 10% and truck at a loss of 8%. So 10% profit is 400. And loss is 8% of 58000. What is the loss value? Sorry. 464. So 44 loss and this is positive means ultimately is getting loss. No? Okay.
By 8, right, sir? For this 800?
No, 00. See, it is 8% you have to calculate. It is simple. See, 5800. 8% means into 8 by 100.
Yes, I got it.
So you can ignore the 0. Simply you have to say 58 into 8. By 8 you are dividing them into 8 portions. That is not what is doing. What you are doing, you have to calculate 8% of the value.
8%, yes. So in the last case, it's loss.
Only B, C, and D will work out.
Okay. Okay.
Right? Okay.
Okay.
Next step, discounts. When you successful rate, first you have to take a discount on the remaining on the new price. Again, you have to take a discount.
Sir, what do you have to do?
So discount means we know the fact, right? If you got a discount of 30% plus 20% means it is not 50% discount. First you have to give 30% discount. On the discounted amount, again you have to give 20% discount. If I said 50% plus 50%, it is not. You are not getting it for free, you know. So first I have 50% discount, I'll be left with 50. On I'll give 50. So total would be 75%.
Yeah.
Close
Right.
it, no?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So if I say market price, first if you are given X%, I have to say 1 minus X. 1 minus X.
Yeah.
The total value you're taking 1 minus y. If I say again, is the next discount. The values that you will be left with, means what is the set price that you will be left with means this is the value.
Okay.
Because after giving a discount, the remaining value is called discounted amount.
Okay.
So discounted amount, again you have to give a discount and again identify what is the final discounted amount. So the sequence that we are following. Of course, the formula it looks typical, right? But when you do it as a problem, right, you'll not find any difference. Now look at this question. So read the question.
The garment is having a stock clearance sale. At the start of the first week of the sale, all garments are marked down 20%. First year 20%.
So what should you say? So for example, here, if the garment is, because in answer case you could see variables. If it is in percentages, I might have started with 100. Because it is all in variables G. What is G means? If you look, if the original price of the garment is G means is in G. If I mark it down by 20% means how much mark? I took it as 0.8 G.
Yes.
What did I write? I have written it is 80 by 100 G.
80.
So there is a value that you
All are not sold by the beginning of the second week are marked down and added 25%.
Down and 25% means what should you do? And this is 0.8 G. On this you will be left with only 75%. So you will be only 0.75.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think the resultant value, see 20% and right, I wrote the remaining value.
Yes.
So here first case is how much? Here it is 20% down.
Yes.
Second case it is 20% down.
So
I'm writing what is that you are left with. I'm with 75%.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. All that haven't been sold by the start of the third week are marked down and additional 30%. On this value, again 30% is down.
Yeah, this is in second week. It is third week. What had happened? It is 30% down. So again 30% down. So what should you do again? Again 30% means you'll be left with 70%.
Yes.
That's right. So 0.7 into 0.5 into 8. So what's the final value that you're left with?
Yes.
So what is the question?
If the price of the garment is G, which of the following represents the price of the garment after markdown at the start of the third week?
So this is asking for this value.
Yes.
Come on, click calculate 0.7 into.
Okay. And 2.7 into 0.8. 0.42 G.
Perfect.
Once.
So what you're left with?
Okay.
Okay, now?
Okay.
That's good. It's just like this, we have to proceed just by writing down step by step. But what is the observation? Again, writing 20% x minus 20% of x. You should not write all the stories. If you write
Yeah.
it would be sufficient.
Yes.
So the next is simple and component list.
I have to go to the company because I have some sort of job came up because on the weeks also.
Okay.
So can I leave maybe after 10 minutes?
I think there is only one or two more questions in this.
Okay.
After this you can leave.
Okay.
Almost got the last question.
Okay.
Two more.
Tomorrow also, there is an urgent work came up. Can you just inform ma'am that we proceed maybe next week? Is that okay?
Okay, I'll inform madam.
because there is some important work came up.
No
Just
issues.
now got the manager
No,
called me. That's it.
no
Sometimes it
problem.
happens.
We can manage, no issues. That's not
Can
a
manage. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
yeah. I'll inform madam. Yeah, just look at these two questions enough. This. Okay? Simple interest means we know it is PTR by 100. P is nothing but principal value, T is time taken, and R is rate of interest. Whereas we speak of compound interest, it is P into 1 plus R by 100 whole power n minus P will give you compound interest.
Okay.
But not if you know the formula, just know it. But what is actually the concept of compound interest? Taking interest on the interest is compound interest. See, when a compound rate, I am taking interest on the principal as well as on the interest. Okay, na?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see this. So we actually know formulas, but we'll not use formula anymore. That is how our style, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let us see in the same way. What's the difference between the simple interest and the compound interest for a sum of $10,000 at for a period of 3 years at 10% of interest?
Okay.
So I can use formula for simple interest and compound interest. I'll get both the values. If I take the difference, I'll get the answer. But that is not so fair enough, I'm saying. So be like a child, like a layman. Let us proceed. So at 10% annual rate of interest, first year I'll get 1,000, second year I'll get 1,000, third also I'll get 1,000. So the simple interest would be 3,000. Yeah. When a compound interest, what happens is first year I'll get only 1,000.
Yeah.
In the year, I'll get 1,000. I'll get 1,000 on 10,000. The existing 1,000 also I'll get $100 because I have to take interest on the interest also.
Okay.
Here, what happens is on the 10,000 I'll get 1,000.
Yeah.
Existing 2,000 I'll get 200. On this 100 I'll get 10.
Yeah.
So 330 is the extra value that I'm getting as a component interest. So the simple and component is only 310. I think the logic right. See, we are just calculating interest on the interest.
From the interest. Yes.
Yeah.
First we get 1,000.
Yeah. First year I'll get only 1,000.
Yes.
Second I'll get 1,000 plus 100.
And 100 from the previous one.
Previous 1,000. Second, when I say compound, right? This 1,000 and 1,000 is also now principal.
Yes.
In the third year, I got 1,000 from 10,000.
Yes.
And I have 2,000. On this 2,000 I got 200.
Yes.
And I have 100, right? On this 100 I got 10.
Oh, yes.
So if I further proceed in the fourth year, what happens you see? On 10,000 I'll get 1,000.
Yes.
This 3,000 I'll get 300.
300, yes.
On 300 I'll get 30.
Yes.
On this 10 I'll get 1. So this total value will be the difference between simple interest and compound interest.
Yes.
So don't use formula and break your head for calculations. It's
Yes,
so simple if you put it down in this way.
Yeah, simple.
Yeah.
Got it.
This one is the last one in this handout. Let us finish.
Okay.
So simple to understand because it is QC. Simple interest, at simple interest, a certain principal sums to 6.2 at the end of 6 years. Means in the beginning there is some value. After years, what happened? It became 6192.
Okay.
Basically, there is X over here, right? After 6
Yeah.
years, it became 6192. And it sums up to again after 6 more years. Means after 12 years means again after 6 more years, it became 1184. This is 6 years. This is 6 years. And here this is at a simple interest. When it is simple interest always remains same between the period, right?
Yeah.
So here, what is this difference over here? the interest, no? That is a 6 years interest would be this difference.
Difference, yes.
Difference would be how much? 784 minus 6192. You said roughly it would be more than 2,500. 87 and here it is 61.
Yes.
So if you remove 2,500 from 6, means it will go below 4,000. And this principal is around 5,000. So obviously quantity B should be greater than quantity A, right? By rough estimation skills, it's doing calculations. You can find exact values, but you can estimate, right?
Yeah.
Got it?
Got it. It should be greater than.
That's it.
I'll just take this. Okay, take it.
Now you take a step. Now take a step because here interest should be greater than 2,500 and this principal X should be less than 5,000. So obviously quantity B is greater than quantity A. That would be more appropriate to understand.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.